ERC, quality service since 1972. Repairing TVs, console stereos, electronic musical instruments, pinball machines, arcade games, and more. Call 836-0454.
You've clicked on the Weather Xtreme video from ABC 3340. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters with you for this Sunday, July the 20th edition. Let's roll back the clock to yesterday. This is yesterday afternoon off the Wilmington, North Carolina radar. And this is one of the points at which Cristobal looked some of the best that I saw during the day yesterday after it was named yesterday. And, of course, it is expected to parallel the coast. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. Here's our sky cam looking out over the entrance to Mount Cheaha State Park, or Cheaha State Park, actually, on Mount Cheaha. Certainly hazy, and Vulcan also looking a bit hazy. Stationary front across the northern tier of the United States with Cristobal just off the Carolina coast there, and a lot of haziness across the southeastern U.S. and a good deal of the eastern half of the country. At 500 millibar overlaying on the water vapor imagery, we can see Cristobal and we can see a rather flat pattern, but that's going to be changing here as we come up into this week, and it looks like some of our best chances for rain could come at midweek. Here's the temperature chart for across the country, and certainly it is hot, especially in the southwest. Can you believe at 5 a.m. a 90-degree temperature reading? Of course, I realize that's like 3 a.m. That's even worse out there. And across central Alabama, we're ranging from the lower 60s to the lower 70s, and just plain warm. Although, remember, it could be worse, like the summer of 80. But it's not, thank goodness. QPF-wise, rainfall expected to run in the order of a quarter to a half inch. We might see a little bit more than that come Wednesday, Thursday time frame, but it looks like that's our best chance. Interestingly enough, no SPC graphics this morning. They were old. I'm not sure what has happened, and so I think the main risk for severe weather is going to stay along that stationary front. Now let's turn to the tropics, and very interesting. We've got a lot of areas to watch here. Let's start off in the right side of the picture. We've got a huge cloud mass coming off the African continent over there. No mention of that in the tropical weather discussion, but certainly something to be watched. Bertha is now a tropical storm. Finally, it looks like we won't be talking about Bertha by Christmas. We've got a little area of low pressure to the south of Bermuda, which is showing at least some thunderstorms. We've got Cristobal off the North Carolina coast. And then in the Caribbean, we've got what may become a tropical depression today as it enters an area where formation development of the storm could occur. Now, here is a visible picture of Bertha, not at all like it was yesterday, certainly beginning to decrease. Here's the projections, and expected to stay a tropical storm all the way up through Tuesday. But it's certainly not affecting anybody, at least right now. Here's Cristobal. The presentation on satellite certainly does not look that great, with most of the convection out over the Atlantic, and that is certainly good for the people in the Carolinas. Here are the projections, and it looks like the Canadian Maritimes are going to be under the gun later this week, about midweek on Wednesday or so, Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. And here is the tropical disturbance in the Caribbean, producing a great deal of rain. And we don't have an official National Hurricane Center track, but these are the computer model tracks, so it looks like the Yucatan is certainly in its sights. And after that, the southwestern Gulf. Now, I have some concerns, and we'll talk about those as we look at the GFS here, but the main projections are to go into northern Mexico, potentially affect South Texas, but we'll certainly be watching that for development over the next couple of days. Here's the 500 millibar chart from the 06Z GFS model run, and this is for Monday at midday. And as we talked about yesterday, we see the trough beginning to dig out of Canada and come down into the eastern half of the United States. And with that, of course, there's our stationary front that has not moved much, and it will not move much until that trough develops. The trough sharpens up substantially on Tuesday, and with that, of course, it'll bring the front down into the Ohio River Valley, at least that far south then. The trough does get a lot sharper, and this is where I have some concerns. I'm a victim or a survivor of Elena back in 1985, and a trough coming across the central and northern United States picked up Elena, turned it almost 90 degrees toward Florida. then left it behind, and then it came back and went into Mississippi. So I'm really concerned about the proximity of these two and whether one might affect the other. Now, the GFS is saying that's not going to happen. And, of course, as that low gets closer, we've got a lot of tropical moisture in the western Gulf of Mexico. So certainly this bears watching, and I certainly support the way the computer models are. But, again, when I think about Elena in 85, I have some concerns. The trough, according to the GFS, will exit off into the northeastern United States on Thursday, but the front is down in our area, and that should help to enhance shower chances. Looks like we kind of dry out, and of course the GFS is going along with most of the computer models and taking it into northern Mexico, where it will die out. Although it will produce a great deal of rainfall, and you can see even on Saturday, you can still see the remnants of that over northern Mexico. By Sunday, we see another trough digging down into the eastern half of the country, where our primarily a long-wave trough position is, and that means another front that will be coming through the northern tier of the United States and certainly not getting down this way. That's on Sunday. And then on Monday, once again, the trough begins to sharpen up, and that brings the front down into the Ohio River Valley, which, of course, helps to enhance shower chances down here. Now, very quickly going out into voodoo land, here's the 1st of August, and the GFS is maintaining that troughiness on the eastern half of the country, and that's good because that keeps the heat down substantially for us. And then by the 4th of August, kind of an interesting pattern, got something off the Carolina coast once again, but certainly a troughiness over the eastern half of the country, and that's good. That would mean showers and storms for us. Well, we appreciate you tuning in to this rather long Weather Extreme video. James will be back with the next version tomorrow morning. In the meantime, hope that you have a great Sunday, and God bless.